Hey there, folks. Are you passionate about democracy and concerned about the rise of authoritarianism? Do you feel like your voice just isn't being heard? Well, I do too. That's why I'm so excited to tell you about the Coffee with Courage podcast. It's an Oklahoma-based grassroots movement, just like you and me, dedicated to promoting democracy and, most importantly, empowering your voice at the ballot box. So, join host Kevin Dawson. He's got some great things to say. And let's make some noise together. It's time we were heard.
Hey, welcome to a special edition of Coffee with Courage, a Valentine's Day special edition. And for all those out there, happy Valentine's to all of you. We hope you have a beautiful evening, beautiful night. Spend time with your loved ones and enjoy the weekend. Please be safe, though, while you do that, because it's supposed to be some bad weather coming across the United States, and particularly the Midwest here in Oklahoma, where I'm located. Tonight, I'm going to talk about a little story, a story that happened about 140 years ago. It happened during the beginning of the Civil War, and this story is about a love letter of sorts, written by an author, a poet, somebody who was very well renowned at the time. And it was a letter that later became a famous American song. This is the legacy of Miss Julia, her love letter to the United States, and her song. Imagine Julia in the happy autumn of her brilliant life. Miss Julia was born on May 27th, 1819. Although there were no cameras at the time when she was born and growing up, by the time Julia had grown up to the beautiful, and she was a beautiful, very beautiful woman. We can gaze upon her eyes in the only portrait that we can find that was actually taken in the autumn of her life, just a few years before she died. After all this time, we still remember her with so much affection because of some words she wrote, a love letter that became a song. I don't think there's any argument that it's the greatest song ever to come out of America. And hers are the greatest lyrics of that song. The music started well ahead of the words. It started in church, and then it moved out into the battlefield. It began as a hymn and grew to be the most beautiful, heart-quickening marching song in all history. It's quite a beautiful story. Before the Civil War, there was an old man named Brown. This man tried to start a civil war all on his own. An angry old man who reckoned it wasn't enough just to say that slavery was wrong. Something had to be done about it. Slaves had to be set free. So he and his sons and a few other people picked up their guns and tried to do just that. It didn't work. Of course it didn't work. Nobody was freed. Old man Brown was caught and tried for treason and hanged. There's a painting of him in the capital of Kansas, in Topeka, Kansas. I've seen it, and it's quite stunning and beautiful, yet ominous. His hair standing straight up and a tornado behind him in that mural. But it's still beautiful to see that. His name was John Brown. And his actions, though unsuccessful, kindled a fire that would soon spread across the nation. His fervent abolitionism and ultimate sacrifice inspired many, including soldiers who sang a song about him, John Brown's Body. As they marched and sang that song, the tune was catchy, but the lyrics were raw and lacked the profound depth that would immortalize this melody. Enter Miss Julia Ward Howe. She was a poet, author, and abolitionist who had moved in the intellectual circles and reformist circles of her time. In November of 1861, during the early days of the Civil War, Julia and her husband visited Washington, D.C., and while there, she heard the soldiers marching by singing John Brown's Body. She was struck by the fervor and energy of the song, but felt that the lyrics did not do justice to the melody's powerful and uplifting spirit. That night, staying at the Willard Hotel, Julia couldn't sleep. The haunting tune of John Brown's Body kept echoing in her mind, and she felt a divine inspiration to write new words for it. As dawn broke, she penned the verses that we now know as the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Her lyrics were so stirring and such a call to action, imbued with a sense of righteousness and divine justice. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, is how the lyrics started. These words, combined with religious fervor, with a call for moral vengeance, vigilance, and justice, encapsulating the Union's cause in the Civil War, when published in the Atlantic Monthly in February 1862, the song quickly became an anthem for the Union troops, boosting morale and providing a sense of purpose and unity throughout this nation. The Battle Hymn of the Republic transcended its origins, becoming a timeless hymn of hope, justice, and perseverance. It has been sung at various pivotal moments in American history, from the Civil Rights Movement to presidential inaugurations. The song's legacy is a testament of its enduring power. I also chose this music when my own father passed away, as he was a veteran, had 5 battle stars, and served our nation greatly during World War II. The song's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of music and poetry to inspire and unite people in the pursuit of greater causes. Miss Julia's contribution through her passionate, eloquent lyrics turned a simple marching tune into a profound hymn that continues to resonate with people to this day. Her words remind us of the sacrifices made in the name of freedom and justice, and the unyielding spirit of those who fought for a better world. As we remember the love letter that was penned by Miss Julia and her brilliant legacy, we are reminded of the power of the words and the enduring impact they can have on our history. Her Battle Hymn of the Republic remains a beacon of hope and a call to action, urging us to continue striving for a world where justice and equality prevail. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosened the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with the glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on.
His
This episode of Coffee with Courage podcast is brought to you by VeteransAgainstFascism.com. VAF is a group of veterans whose mission is to defeat fascism and fascist politicians in the United States of America. Email them at infoveteransagainstfascism.com. Help us in our mission. Donate today by going to VeteransAgainstFascism.com, support US.